And if it is, then we are good to go, and then we'll start in a minute. All right. Okay, let me check. I think great. Welcome everyone once again. Today, as you can already see, this is going to be an Ask Me Anything session today. You can ask your questions related to the session that we have today. I've also handpicked a few questions which I feel would be catering to the larger part of the audience today, and will be helping you solve a lot of queries, right? But that's not just it, right? If there's any other question that you feel you might you feel something that's bothering you and you want to seek help for that particular matter, you can always just put it in the chat, and within time constraints I'll quickly try to answer all of those queries. All right. Okay, perfect. It's not just this. You can always reach out to me on LinkedIn as well. Might be a little late for me to reply, but I always try to reply to all the students probably on the weekend and solve any queries that all of you have. All right. So definitely we'll be touching that part, that aspect as well of how you can reach me later as well, and after these classes as well. All right. Okay. Can everyone just give me a quick thumbs up, so then we'll be good to go, and then we'll start the class today. All right, perfect. A lot of you have joined in. Perfect, great. I'll just quickly take a minute first to introduce myself, the person who will be answering all your queries today. My name is Riya Bansal, and I am currently working as a software engineer at Flipkart. Previously, I have also worked at many other companies like Amazon, American Express, Coding Blocks, and InterviewBit and Scalar Academy. So I have interviewed, and I have done a lot of internships also during my tenure in the engineering part, and I have also worked as full-time also in certain industries. I'm also a Google Women Techmaker Scholar for the year 2018. I have taught a lot of students already in the past, and I do have a lot of teaching experience, and I have mentored a lot of you as well in the past as well. And today I'll be trying to take all of queries that you have, and we'll be trying to take questions from both YouTube and Unacademy. So we'll try to cater on both types of questions that we have all in the time that we have today. All right. I think we're good to go. We'll take questions one by one. I have handpicked a few questions, so I'll answer those questions first, and in between, if there's any doubts that you have, you can obviously just put those in the chat, and I'll take it up after a few questions that I have answered. All right. Okay, perfect. Okay, so the first question that a lot of you asked is, and there were a similar constraint as well, that someone asked that I am from mechanical engineering department. How does that affect my scope of becoming a good programmer? I always feel inferior to my CSE classmates. What subjects, topics should I cover in order to be at par with them? Now, I want all of you to, I want to know from the audience today first, how many of you are from a non-CSE backgrounds? Like currently students who are probably in, let's say, mechanical or let's say electrical and ECE kind of a backgrounds where it's not exactly the same. Right, so many of you are not there yet, many of you have not started in that particular field, and many of you are still in a different field, right? I see not just like engineering, but students are from different background as well. So definitely I say do not feel hesitant in that you have a, I would say, backdrop from any other students from the CSE classmates. You can cope up and become a good programmer in that aspect as well. You just need to be in that scenario where you know that you need to put in a little extra effort in order to be at in order to become a good programmer, because I feel when you are from a non-CSE kind of a background, you don't really get to study topics like C++, Java, probably in the first semester, but you don't get to study those topics once you are in the second, third or fourth semester. Whereas students who are in the a CSE kind of a background, they do type and they do tend to answer all those questions, and they do try to keep a pace up with those all topics. But it doesn't happen when you are from a civil engineering kind of a background. So what my suggestion would be, to make sure that you know, so realizing that thing that you need to put in an extra effort is definitely a good thing. Please just make sure that you spare time on weekends, let's say 2 hours, 3 hours, 4 hours, any time that you feel is suitable for you, and you try to practice those concepts, right? What I suggest to all the students I have mentored in the past is doing 5 questions a day is more than enough for all of you, right? My suggestion is pick 5 questions, 3 easy questions, 1 medium questions, and 1 hard questions, and try to learn that questions and try to learn a new concept from that questions, right? So that is a tip that I give to each and every student, and something that you should keep in mind as well whenever you're trying to learn any of these concepts, right? But definitely do not feel disheartened, and do not feel that you're not going to get a good job or a placement because of that. It does not affect at all at your engineering background. I have seen people who are in electrical departments, and they are from mechanical departments, but they do excel a lot, and they do good, really good, sometimes even better than the CSE students as well, right? So please don't feel disheartened in those cases. All right, we'll take up the next question. Second is there any company which gives priority or has placement drive exclusively for females? Right, so there are companies, right, because it's high time that the companies did realize that they don't really they have a very bad ratio, I believe, right? They have a really bad female to male ratio, and there are companies actually which came out in public and accepted that their gender ratio is really bad in their industry and corporate culture level. And that is why they do have a lot of initiatives going on, wherein they do mentor female candidates, female engineering candidates, for a certain period of time, and then they try to have a placement kind of a scenario specifically for those particular students, right? So I know companies like Amazon which have a special mentorship program, which I was a part of as well, in which they mentor female engineering candidates for a period of about 6 to 7 months, and then they try to help and then they take the regular process of sitting in the placement drives, giving interviews, and then if you get selected, you can definitely get a internship offer or a placement offer. Having said that, it definitely gives you an opportunity to be a female and exclusively sit for a particular placement, but the process that you have to go through is exactly same. It's not like you'll have to give less rounds, or you'll have to give no interviews in order to get a job. You'll definitely have to go through the entire process. It's just in those process they have exclusive female candidates in which they would like to sit. Yes, so we have a program from Amazon also, we have a program from Flipkart also, we have a Microsoft CodeChef program as well. I know that Intuit also has started doing that program, and it is spreading a lot day by day, right? Companies have realized about their gender inequality ratio, and they are making efforts to actually help women get a lot of placements and help women get into the companies where they feel there is a particular lag. So definitely there are placement drives which are exclusively for females, but having said that, you will have to go through those entire placement program and placement interviews process, even if you do take a part in those drives. All right, like I said, PU, there are companies like Microsoft. There's a Microsoft CodeChef program. For Flipkart also, they have a Girls Who Code program, other programs as well by Amazon, where they have a mentorship program. It's not specific to every college, right? Let's say we take the example of Amazon. They do have this program, but they don't have this program for every college, right? They do pick a certain amount of colleges, and then they try to do this mentorship program for the female candidates in those colleges, right? So that's what they try to achieve on this. All right, perfect. Let's take up the next question now, I believe. Then I'll take up a question from chat also, right? All right. So the next question is how to get to know all the opportunities and preparation for women in tech, right? So I have seen multiple students who feel that they do know about the they do know about the opportunities, but sometimes they get to know about these opportunities late. How many of you feel that sometimes you miss the opportunities, right? And sometimes it's like an opportunity came up, but you got to know about it so late that you ended up missing it, right? It happens a lot. I have seen multiple students who feel the same, that they feel they didn't get enough time and nobody informed them about the opportunity, otherwise they would have definitely made an effort, right? So that happens a lot, it with many students. So don't just feel that it happens with you. It has happened with lot of students. It has happened with me also sometimes, where I did not get to know about a certain opportunity where I really wanted to work for, right? And it was actually a very good opportunity, but I ended up missing that. So for a tip for that would be, please be very active on LinkedIn. Companies have started using LinkedIn very aggressively, and they do post about these opportunities as well, right? Sometimes I also post about these opportunities and help all the female engineering candidates, all of those that are out there, and I try to reach to them if there's a certain opportunity that might interest them. So a key role would be here, LinkedIn, that plays here. Please be very active on LinkedIn. Maintain a very good profile, right? When I say a very good profile, what I mean is, please make sure you put in all your academic achievements which you feel is relevant in that profile, right? You can go check out my profile as well. I have very well stated some of the aspects of my engineering life as well, and also some of the internships and the full-time work I have done as well. So I try to mention all of these things very specifically, and I also try to tell in those particular aspects and columns what exactly I did as a part of being with that company, right? So I'll just share my user ID with all of you. Just a reference, no example that I want to set here with all of you, but just an example that I would like to say here is that you should be having a good profile on LinkedIn that will help you gain a lot of audience, and sometimes recruiters do contact you as well, right? Many a times it will happen that the recruiter can contact you themselves if they feel your profile is relevant. So do make sure that you do have a good profile and a good presence on social media, and in order to know about all these opportunities, please be very active in those places. I don't want you to be constantly looking at these at these platforms, but yeah, once in a day you can just scroll through the page and see how you can basically check those aspects, right? All right, perfect. Let me take up a doubt here. Okay, so Preeti has been asking a doubt that how should I prepare for Google Women Techmaker Scholarship? Please suggest, ma'am. All right, I'll just give a brief context first. What is this scholarship and how exactly you can make the most of the opportunity? All right, so this is like an annual scholarship which is given by Google to all the female engineering candidates who have been excelling in their field and who do have a good academic record, and they do have done something for other female engineering candidates. Like, so it's like an opportunity where you will be going through a process. There's going to be an application process, and then you're going to have an interview kind of a scenario. We'll have to answer a few questions, and then if you are selected for that process, you're going to get a full expense paid opportunity to visit one of Google's office. So when I was a scholar, I went to Singapore, and it was a paid opportunity by Google, and I also got an opportunity to get a scholarship amount as well, right? The current status of that scholarship is it is only valid for students who are in first year or second year, right? Although I would suggest to please check websites as well, because the criteria for getting selected gets changed, I would say, a lot. So you should do check out the website as well and see what kind of what is exactly the eligibility criteria to be with that particular, I would say, scholarship. So definitely a very good scholarship, something you should definitely apply for if you are in the first year or the second year. Every year I do mentor a lot of students for that scholarship. I do try to take up a lot of applications and I review them and I give feedbacks to other students. So I am from a all women engineering college. There are a lot of female candidates in my college itself, and I think alone last year my college had around 5 to 6 candidates who were selected, right? So definitely I would say something, a good opportunity that you should look for and definitely give it a go, right? All right, let's take up some more doubts, or let's take up from the screen only. All right. So next question is, what chances and opportunities are there for women for joining in FANG companies off campus after college, right? So I think the opportunities that I talked about initially were on campus. Most of opportunities were, right, because Microsoft CodeChef program is also kind of an on campus opportunity where they will be talking to students, and there will be a mentorship program about that. But for off campus opportunities, right, I think for off campus opportunities, I would say I won't say there are a lot of companies which do hire off campus the same way as well, but yes, definitely I would say there are a lot of opportunities in that respect as well. Definitely go check out different companies' website where they do have a mentorship program for off campus scenarios. And specifically if I talk about FANG companies, so I'm not sure if Facebook has a program specifically for Indian students in which they have an opportunity for women. Similarly, talking about Netflix and Google as well, I know about a program called by Google, that is the Google Women Tech Maker Scholarship only, and they do have a lot other scholarships as well which you can definitely apply for. But specific to FANG companies, I won't say there are much opportunities that are specifically for women, and in that respect also I talk about the students which are from India, right? So that would restrict my answer for those particular students in that case, right? All right, perfect. Guys, please feel free to put your doubts in the chat as well. These are some of the questions that I just handpicked at this point, but I'll be taking up any questions that you have in the chat as well. All right, perfect. PU says, ma'am, please do tell about preparation strategies for good placements. All right, I would say for good placements, you will have to go through an interview process where you have to go through a coding round and you will have to give a certain round of interviews. Now, what suggestion I give is the most important thing that is asked in interviews is going to be data structures and algorithms, right? So please make sure you learn as much as these concepts as you can. Make good use of LeetCode. LeetCode has some very good set of curated questions which you can actually filter based on the companies as well. So let's say you are preparing for an upcoming interview for, let's say, a company called Amazon. Then they have a specially set of curated questions where there are questions I would say listed which have been asked in Amazon. So you can definitely make use of that opportunity here where they have a filter kind of a platform, and I would say where you can solve a lot of questions specifically for, I would say, company that you are interviewing for. All right, so that is a good way that you can do that. Kirti, I will share my LinkedIn profile. I have also done it in the chat itself. I'll just pin it so that everyone else can see as well. All right, perfect. Ma'am, which online platform is best for C language? Parul, I would say if you want to land in a good company and if you're sitting for coding rounds for those companies, I would preferably go for C++ or Java or Python, right? Because they are more intuitive and they are more helpful in that scenario for solving a lot of questions. So I would basically suggest you to go for that language. All right, let's take the question on the screen once and then we will take the rest of them. So the question is, ours is a women engineering college, so many students will be from those college only. How should we motivate the girls towards competitive programming and more towards product-based companies? What I would say is there is a big stigma around women in competitive programming, right? You won't see many girls specifically working towards competitive programming, and that's quite I would say visible, clearly visible as well, because you don't see much women doing that. And I would say it's more of a mental stigma that we have at this point. girls can do excel in these fields as much as they can, and there's nothing holding them back. That's what I feel, right? And being in a women's engineering college should actually give you a head start in that scenario, because you have a female, you have a set of female co-females that have been working for you, and all of you can actually work towards the common upliftment for all of you, right? So that's what I always suggest, that please don't let anything, and please don't let your gender hold you back from excelling in anything, right? That's what I believe, and that's what I think actually every other female out there should look as well, right? If you'll try to demotivate each other, and if you'll try to have that mental stigma in your mind that probably you're not good enough to do this, then I would say then definitely you will not be able to do this, right? I think you only limit yourself as much as your thoughts do, right? So if you're thinking well, if you really think you can do it, then there's nothing actually that is out there that actually can stop you from doing that, right? So please try to be extremely motivated. Please look around you. You will find, I would say, if you lack inspiration, you will find sufficient women out there who have excelled a lot, right? And they do have done a lot in their field, and they are doing great as well. So take inspiration from that path, and then try to work towards your goal, and then try to target any companies that you are working for, right? All right, perfect. Let's just see if I can take some doubt from the chat. Ashutosh says, is there any internship for non-CSE branch students with basic? Ashutosh, nothing that I can think of at the top of my head right now, right? For non-CSE, so there are companies who restrict the students who can sit for their placements. There are companies who probably say that only computer science students can sit for our placements. For non-computer science students, I don't know any specific internships as of now which are specifically for non-CSE students, right? But definitely go check out LinkedIn. You can definitely put LinkedIn has a good option there where you can put your filters, and you can actually filter the job opportunities based on the experience and the expertise that you have. So please do make good of use of that option here, and then try to see if there's any opportunity that fits you. All right, let me see if I can take VS says, can you please guide with internships? I am a second year. Yes, I would say if you want to do internships, first specify and first try to see what interest do you have. If you are interested in web development, if you are interested in mobile development, Android, or you're interested in ML or AI, right? Based on those interests, try to look for a certain opportunity. I am not sure if companies would be willing to have a second year students as their interns if you are like too efficient on that perspective, but definitely you can find some of the opportunities like that online, and you can apply from them. At least what we can do from our end is we can apply and see if there are certain opportunities which interest us, and then try to have a grip of them, right? Guhan says that, ma'am, should I include all my skills in LinkedIn or some of my best skills of it, ma'am? Guhan, there's a perfect line that you have to draw right there. That's what I believe, because you have to maintain that balance. If you're going to just put everything on LinkedIn, and definitely it's something that you feel is not quite relevant from the perspective of an engineering job or an internship, I would suggest you not to put it. But if you feel there's a particular skill that is definitely going to help you land a good job, and something that you are confident also, right? Don't just go out and put their languages like C, C++, Java, Python and everything, right? I also in my engineering life have studied all these languages at some point of time, but I am definitely not confident in being asked questions in all of them, right? So only put languages in which you are extremely confident, right? That is going to be helping you. All right, Shivani, I've already answered a few programs and scholarships that are there for women. You can check out the video once again. I put those names initially, and you can probably look at those opportunities. All right, let's take a few more. Anjali, yes, definitely. Please don't feel that you are late or you're definitely not going to land a good company. Please keep on practicing, and you can land a very good opportunity. Let's take Manu says, how can we apply for FANG companies if they're not coming for campus placements? Guys, what I would suggest is the moment you hear FANG, you know that there are only about 4 to 5 companies, right? There are going to be about 4 to 5 companies only. So please don't feel, definitely having a name to be landing in a FANG company is very good, but please don't limit yourself to that. There are definitely other companies also out there which are as good as the FANG companies, and they do have very good opportunities for people, right? If these companies don't come as your I would say as campus placements, they definitely have their careers page where they do put in a lot of opportunities. So please be active for their career pages, see if there's any suitable opportunity that comes out there. Although I am not sure if they do hire fresh grads as well from the careers page, I think the number is going to be less. Please make sure you check those out opportunities once, right? Definitely the careers page and the LinkedIn is going to help you in that scenario. All right. Piyu says, ma'am, please tell how can we clear rounds as it is different from interview rounds. Piyu, I would say for coding rounds, definitely you just need the knowledge of, I would say, data structures and algorithms. So if you're good enough for data structures and algorithms, you'll be good to go. Time constraint is one of big things that we have to face when we are in a coding round, right? So you don't just have to solve the question, you have to solve the question well within the time constraints and following the aspect that you have to complete the questions and pass all the test cases as well, right? So if that is the concern for you, if there's something you feel that you're not quite efficient, please try to practice a lot of questions and try to give some contest as well, which keeps on happening on the CodeChef and the Codeforces platform as well. So there at that particular point of time, you will be able to see that there are a lot of I would say problems that you will be solving, and you'll also be within time constraints, so it'll help you prepare for the coding rounds also. All right. Sakshi says, ma'am, as a girl it becomes difficult to get a good group of programmers. Any tips for how to make a team in college? Sakshi, I know it can be a little bit hard to find a good group of peers who are actually willing to become a good programmers, but definitely reach out to people, right? I have seen, if you are in college, I have seen people starting their own societies, right? So there's in my college we had a lot of societies. We had Code Benders, we have IEEE, we had Lean In, and so many other societies where there were just people who collected on a regular basis, let's say on a weekly basis, to solve a lot of problems and work towards a common goal, let's say web development or mobile development, any other aspect like that. So I would say definitely that's a good way. Probably put it out as a society that you're starting with, and probably you want a set of people or specifically girls that you want to work ahead with, and definitely want a group. I strongly feel that someone will definitely reply to you and help on those aspects. All right, let's take up the question on the chat on the screen now. So the question is, someone asked how to get more internship opportunities in final year of graduation so that we improve our industrial knowledge, right? So definitely I would say industrial knowledge is important, right? And internships does give you a good perk for that, because you are solving a lot of, I would say, problems that are of real life scenarios, right? So you're touching a lot of aspects which are related to the real life scenarios that we have right now, and they help you get in touch with those problems. So definitely doing internships improve your industrial knowledge. It helps you to realize what real life problems are basically out there and how engineers are working towards it. So when you are just solving basic data structures and algorithms, you can't really relate to that aspects. But yes, try to do a lot of internships for that sake, and that will definitely help you a lot, right? For getting a lot of internship opportunities and for knowing about them, definitely I would just restate the same thing again and again. LinkedIn is very good opportunity. If you have companies coming up for your on campus and on placement kind of an opportunity, you can definitely go ahead and check that out. And otherwise, apart from that also, you can definitely check out, I would say, LinkedIn, where there are a lot of people who are willing to hire interns and giving them a lot of exposure, right? And I think we are almost out of time. I'm sorry, this is a very short session, but I will be taking one more doubt, so that it helps our students. I'll just extend it by a little. All right, I'll just take one last question by Mohit, which says, ma'am, any particular strategy you followed for getting good in CP? My graph is not improving. Mohit, I would say, not just to telling for the purpose of the sake, because we are on the Unacademy platform, but definitely there has been a program by Unacademy where we are helping students in that respect only. So there's kind of specific course and the plus course where we have on different topics, let's say graph, and I would say graphs, and other topics would be searching, sorting, dynamic programming, data structures, and any other topic like that. So you can definitely work on that aspect as well. And apart from that, I would say please practice a lot of questions. If you feel you are lagging in a particular kind of a topic, please try to solve a questions lot on that. And most of the times the only thing and the only issue with the students is their underlying concepts is not clear, and that is why they feel a lot of issues in answering our questions. So make sure your underlying concepts and the foundational knowledge is clear, because then definitely you should not be facing any issues, right? You can always take part in contest as well. You can take part in long challenges as well, organized by CodeChef, and try to solve questions on that on those platforms, and see where you stand with your peers. And if there's certain topic that you feel is lagging, you can definitely go ahead and grab I would say grip on those topics, right? So I think that will be it. We are already ahead of time. You must be having a next class that is starting today, right? But that's not it, right? You can always just reach out to me on LinkedIn also, and get your queries answered, and there also I'll usually try to reply and take up any questions and queries that you have, right? So I think a very small session, I believe only a 30-minute session, but I think it was useful for you to some end, and you were able to get some of your doubts cleared about all these things. And this was specifically a session for women, because I have seen a lot of you feeling disheartened and feeling already demotivated, because you feel that probably competitive programming is not the right field for you. But I say, please don't think of you as any less. This is just something in our mind that we have, that probably we are not good enough, but yes, we can definitely do it. If you fail any motivational issues, please seek inspiration around you. If you feel any other professional or personal issue, you can always reach out to me and take up your queries with me. I'll be more than happy to help you out in any aspects that you want, right? Thank you everyone. Thank you so much for attending. Thank you for giving such precious time of yours in attending this session. And definitely I have been taking a lot of classes free also on the Unacademy platform, which you can find on the YouTube as well. And I will be coming there again and again to take lectures and try to help all of you, right? Thank you everyone. Bye bye. Stay safe. Keep coding.